Abortion should be
Why is
legal.
that? Thank you so much for the love you. I love you more.
I disagree with it because I think it should be illegal. I think it's wrong.
I am aware of that.
Yeah,
But what
that's
is
you asked
wrong
me why I
about
disagree
it?
with it. What's wrong about it? Yeah, it's taking away the future experiences of a human.
And why should we value the fetus?
Because the fetus is a human with future experiences.
Yeah, so we should always grant it the same rights
Oh, we
as an
should
actual
grant
born
it. Yeah,
human.
we should grant it fundamentally the same rights. Not always, not in every single case. If you can present something like, let's say, the woman had non-consensual sex or was raped. Obviously, in that case, I would say no.
So
That's that's fine.
you feel that abortion should be legal?
I feel like it should be legal in that case. Sure, in that case, that's fine. But in the majority
How
of cases, I
can
would say no.
how can we figure out whether or not, like, if a woman goes to get an abortion, what is stopping every single woman who wants to get an abortion from saying I was raped?
There's nothing stopping her from doing so, but it's still an incentive.
So at the end of the day, the whole exception that you have with somebody getting raped doesn't matter. You just
No,
advocate
it
for
does
abortion to
matter.
be legal. You would just advocate for abortion to be legal, period, because there are women out there who get raped that deserve to get abortions.
Of course, they deserve to get abortions, but the law
Exactly.
still stands
So
up. The law still stands up, though.
exactly, and the law would be that abortion is legal, so they can
No,
get
it wouldn't.
abortions.
No, it wouldn't. It
How
would
would
be
that
that
not be illegal?
it would be that it would be illegal, and it's wrong in most cases, except for a certain case like this one.
Yeah, but we already went over how in a certain case like this one, nobody would be able to differentiate who got raped or who didn't.
Yes, they
Anybody
can.
could lie about that.
I mean, they can lie
How?
about it. I mean, but you can infer it through the courts. Just like how I can infer, just like how murder isn't always wrong. Murder is okay in cases like self-defense. But we have to, how do we infer cases
No.
of self-defense? We infer it through the courts.
At the end
We
of the
infer it
day,
through the
at
courts.
the courts.
As in, yeah, you take it to trial. You take it to trial, and then we determine if this actually happened, if this case actually happened. Then if so, then this isn't wrong.
Right. And based off what evidence will we come to this
Of
conclusion?
whatever evidence is presented. Whatever evidence is
What is the
presented.
evidence that's usually presented when somebody is raped?
That whatever evidence is presented, I'm not sure about the usual evidence that's presented. Whatever evidence that's presented that gets her the case that says yes, that she was raped in this instance, that it wouldn't be
How
wrong
could
for her to
you
get the abortion.
how could you hold to something that you do not have the evidence to substantiate?
I never said I didn't have the evidence to substantiate. I said I
So I'm
don't know what the
asking
evidence
you
that's usually presented in the case of the woman.
so I'm asking you for the evidence that is usually presented to
I
where
don't know
we
what you're
figure
asking me for
out.
then. I don't know what you're asking me for.
I'm asking you directly for the evidence and which is usually shown to show who got raped and who didn't.
And for the case for a woman to present evidence for her to get what's usually presented, I'm not sure what a woman usually presents, and it's really none of my business to be honest.
It
Usually
wasn't your
there might be
business.
some sort of video evidence, maybe there's some sort of DNA test, something like that, something that proves that
Yeah,
she
but
was
what if
raped.
but so like if a woman gets raped and doesn't have like the substantial evidence, you feel that it will be like shouldn't get an abortion or can't get an abortion now
I
because
mean,
she
I
doesn't
don't
have
know
like
if she
that.
can or can't because I don't know if she got raped or not.
Exactly. So do you think that like holding to an exception is actually the most ideal thing? Do you think it's beneficial for all
I
women who
still
are
think it's
raped?
beneficial to hold to exception, yes, just like how I hold to an exception of self-defense for murder.
At the end of the day, does it really benefit all women who are raped though?
I
Because at
mean,
the end of the day, not
probably
all women will
not.
be able to get an
I mean,
abortion.
probably not. People who kill in self-defense but are still tried for murder. I mean, it's not
So,
benefiting all of them. The self-defense principle isn't benefiting all of them, but it's still there to benefit the most amount of people. It's not
oh,
benefiting every
so,
single person, but it's benefiting the most amount of people it can. That's the point
oh,
of the law.
so you do feel like, okay, so is there a smaller percentage of women that are raped that want abortions or a higher percentage?
I don't know.
Can you find that for me?
I don't see why that's substantial to my view.
It's not about your view. It's about the fact that this is going to tell whether or not you actually hold to this.
Are you asking for the amount of women who are raped in terms
I'm
of who
asking.
get abortions?
I'm asking for the amount of women who are raped that desire to get abortions or get abortions because they're raped, versus the amount of women who get like abortions in general.
Elective abortions. I know. From
Yeah,
what I know, I don't have a direct stat to support it. From what I know, it's like 1% or like less than 1%.
1% of what,
1% of elective abortions.
and 99% of the other abortions are abortions for people that get raped.
People who don't get raped. Women who
Oh,
engage in consensual sex,
oh, and they want abortions, and that is higher,
and that is high. Higher than what?
higher than the women who get raped.
I'm still confused on what higher means here. Like the amount of women
the
who
the
want the abortions.
amount of women who want abortions that don't get raped is higher
Yes.
than the
Yes.
actual amount of women. Okay,
Yes.
So you said that you would want something that benefits the most women, right?
Yes, which is why I want abortion to be illegal.
Wouldn't you want the actual abortion to be legal for all women if
No.
there's a higher percentage of women who want abortions electively,
No.
raped or not? Why
No.
not?
Because it's still the termination of a human life. And so it's
But
not
at the end
benefiting
of
the
the day-
human life. It's not benefiting the human life in the womb.
But okay, so why do you value the human life in the womb more than women?
I don't value it more than a woman. I value its life more than the woman's more than the woman say whatever defense that she has of it. Let's say like its bodily autonomy or something like that. I value the whole life of that fetus. I value the life of it more than the justification that she's giving for killing it.
Why does her justification matter less than the actual life of the fetus?
And it's just in accordance to the general way that we look at morals and the way that we look at ethics. The whatever reasons that you have for your finances, for what you want to do with your future, that doesn't justify murder. That doesn't justify murder.
Wait, where are you getting from? Like this is like the general way we look at morals and ethics. Where are you getting this from?
Way majority of people look at ethics. I mean,
where are you getting this from?
What do you mean the way I'm getting this from?
Where are you getting this from?
This is just informed through experiences, looking at the way that laws are set up, looking at the way that people think about ethics.
If you're going to say something, you have to have evidence to prove. Like if you're going to say this is if you're going to make a claim, you have to have like evidence. You said the majority thinks this way. This is a general thing. So you're going to have to find the source that proves
the way that they think about what?
The way they think about abortions.
I didn't say. Wait, I didn't say the way that they think about abortions.
You said this is the way that
the life being valuable. A life being more valuable than your reasons for murdering it.
Yeah, and we would be talking about in the context of abortion, right?
Yeah, which is a human life, and you're trying to give reasons for killing a human.
Yeah, so, and you said that generally in morality, we look at things a certain way. Where's the evidence for that?
Most people seem to do. There empirical evidence for like meta ethics. That's not really going to be something you can look at. You can look at sociology, sure. There's not going to be statistics when it comes to like something like a meta ethical claim like that.
If you cannot prove it, don't talk about it. Okay.
Wait, if I can't prove it, don't talk about something. Well, yeah, we're talking about morals. We're talking about morals here. We're talking about the way that people think about stuff. And we're talking about the way that things ought to be, right?
I believe that, people think the opposite of that. I believe that women think that they should be able to get an abortion, over the fetus. And I feel that the woman...
Oh, that wasn't what I was talking about.
Oh, well, that's the conversation.
So whenever we're talking about, can I kill somebody because I want to improve my finances? Can I kill somebody?
What are you talking about?
Is that yes or no? Oh, no, this is in accordance to what I've been talking about for the past 5 minutes. Can I kill somebody because I want to improve my finances?
If they're living, then no.
If they're living, then no.
If they're born, then no.
Right. And do you feel as if most people would say no, would agree, most rational people would say no to that answer? Would say no to that question. Would say no to that question. Can I kill somebody?
I feel like if you gave the context of whether or not the person is on Earth or not, then they would say if you said that they were on Earth and there was somebody on Earth, then they would say no. But I feel like if it was in the context of like an abortion or like a fetus, that statistic definitely would change.
Yeah, but we're talking about in accordance to the general way that people look at ethics. That's what you were asking.
I don't know how we can measure the general way people look at ethics.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, that was my point. We can't.
Exactly.
You cannot empirically measure that.
No. Thank you. So don't ask me what is the general way that people can. What do you think is the general way?
You asked me.
If there's no way we can measure this, that's not fair.
You asked me. Okay, can I speak?
You're giving me an impossible answer.
You gave me the impossible answer. You asked me this first. You asked me this first.
Then you asked me, and then
I turned it around on you. That's what happened.
Yeah, you gave me the general way. There's no way to measure the general way. I've been asking you for the general way this whole time, but you don't have it. And then you said that there's no general way.
And then I asked you, and you agreed with me. And then I asked you, and then you agreed with me. And then I asked you, and then you agreed with me.
On what?
The ethical view on whether or not I can kill somebody simply because I want to like improve my finances. That's just an example.
I didn't agree with you.
You did agree with me. You said that most people would say no. You said that most people on Earth would say no.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said. You said most people on Earth would say no. That is precisely what you said.
I said if it is the case that you gave the context that the person that they murdered or whatever is on Earth with them, then they would say no. But if we put it in the context of abortion, then that statistic might change. Chad, did I not say that yes or no? Chad, did I not say that yes or no? Because now he's lying on me. Did I not say that yes or no? 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 Thank you.
Are you allowed?
But
Am I allowed
anyways.
to speak now? Am I allowed to speak
Now
now?
you can. Good
Am I allowed
girl.
to speak
Speak
now?
for me.
Am I allowed to
Speak for
speak
me,
now?
good
Yeah, I
girl.
didn't listen to a single
Speak,
thing
good
you said
girl.
because you
Good
just
girl.
lied. Because you just lied.
I didn't lie. Everybody
You
is saying
just
that I
lied
said
on
what I
recording.
said.
I have this recorded.
No, I will repeat what I said. I said if it is the case that you gave the distinction of whether or not that person that they are murdering is on Earth, then most people would definitely say no. But if we put it in the context of an abortion, that statistic would change. All my lives are recorded. I could actually end this one and actually show you that's what I said. And even if it is the case that you have a recording as well, I would like to see that too.
Oh,
Co-parter.
okay.
Copium.
Okay, so do you want to continue? So let's continue off the conversation there. Do you agree to continue off the conversation there?
If you can't talk about that anymore, then sure.
Oh no, we can keep talking about it. So like what I was asking about was generally you would agree. So we would both agree like in principle that generally most people would say no, that I can't just kill somebody if I can't just give a reason like, oh, I want to improve my finances, or oh, like maybe that person will have a bad experience in their future or something like that, just to kill somebody, right? Like if I think that somebody is going to live off in another country and they're going to have a bad experience in that country, I can't just kill them for that, right? Like I have to have some sort of extraordinary reason to kill somebody. You would agree with me. And most people, you feel like most people would agree with me, right? Like most people would agree with me that no, you can't just kill somebody for that.
It
right?
depends. It depends on the context.
It depends on the context. On
Yeah,
what context?
so let's talk about in the context of whether or not that person is on Earth or not, or it, like if we're talking about like an abortion, like I just said earlier. So like if it is the case that location does matter in this case.
Really?
So yeah, and also there's a clear distinction between somebody who is a fetus and somebody who is an actual person.
What's the distinction?
The distinction is that a fetus is not a woman, a man, or child. It has not been born yet. Also, I value sentience. And if it is the case that abortions are happening and the fetus is sentient, I feel that that is something that shouldn't happen. Number one. Number two.
Okay.
Those are multiple distinctions.
Okay. So the first distinction that you gave was that it's not a man, child, or woman?
Woman, yeah.
And why does that matter?
Because that would determine whether or not this is a human being.
It's a human? What is a human being?
A human being is a man, woman, or child of the species.
A man, woman, or child? Are non-binary people also human beings?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would also be human beings. So your definition doesn't work there because non-binary people would also be non-binary people would also be human people.
Non-binary people are human beings. They are.
Yeah, they are human beings. So it wouldn't just be man, woman, and child, right?
Non-binary is like a gender identity. It doesn't have anything to do with like your biological sex.
It has to do with what you were talking. Oh, so you're talking about biological sex?
Yeah, that's why I said man, woman.
Man, woman, and child. What's the biological sex of a child? That would just fit within man or woman, right?
Children can have either the male sex or the female sex.
So they would.
But when I say man or woman, I'm referring to like the biological root of that.
Okay. So whenever you're employing these terms, so you're just using this to define what a human is. Is that a human is just a man, woman, or child?
I said a human being.
A human being?
Human. Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning. Did you not hear me?
No, I actually did not hear you.
I said that multiple times. That's why I said human being.
Yeah, so just repeat what you said.
Yeah, I said the human being is a man, woman, or child of the species Homo sapien. Did I not say that?
Species Homo sapien, and then what is
Homo
the fetus?
sapien.
Is the fetus? What is a child?
A child. I'll give you the exact definition. A child is a young human being below the age of puberty or below the age of legal majority.
Oh, and what is the fetus? What is the fetus?
I'll give you the definition of that as well.
A young child is a young human being.
Hey! I'm giving you the definition. Stop talking.
Okay, go ahead.
A fetus is the offspring of a human or other mammal in the stages of prenatal development that follow the embryo stage in humans taken at the beginning of 8 weeks after conception.
Can you search up if a fetus is a human? Also, can you search that up?
Yeah, it is a human.
What does it say? It's a human?
Yeah, the fetus is a human.
Yeah. Yeah, so the fetus is a human. So the fetus is a human. And so what's the distinction between a human and a human being? What is the distinction here?
Being would entail born. That would entail like legality. That would entail like a social basis of it.
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this definition. I don't think this is how most people employ it. I don't think this is how most people employ the term being. Whenever they're talking about being, they're usually talking about a subject. They're usually talking about like a human subject, someone who can.
And we don't look at fetuses like that. We look at them as human.
So it would be
sentience. We look at them as human, but we don't look at them as human beings.
So your distinction would be sentience, right?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Wait, did I not say that already?
You did say that. You did say that. That was the second thing we were going to get into.
Did I not say that, chat? Did I not say sentience in the beginning?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Did I not say this?
Yes.
Did I not say this?
Yes. Yes, you did. Yes, you
Oh,
did.
okay.
Yes, you did.
So I don't know why you're trying to make it seem like this is something that I never
I
said
wasn't
before.
making it seem like you said something. I was pulling it back to the second thing that you said, because the first thing you said was that a human being is a man, woman, or child, and the second thing you said was sentience. Was that sentience was the moral distinction here? So we were going to get into that, but I was just making the point that you're kind of conflating the two here. The main point that you have is that it's sentience. Sentience is what regards something's morality, right?
In my view, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what would this mean for pregnancy? Like, when does the fetus gain sentience?
Usually from 24 to 35 weeks.
And how do you know that that's sentience?
There's ways to, there's procedures actually to measure whether or not a fetus is sentient.
Yeah. And what is sentience?
Sentience is the ability to deploy consciousness and feel things.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is conscious? What does it mean to feel things? Like, what is that?
Emotions.
What? A consciousness is emotions? Is that what you said? No.
That is a part of consciousness.
I mean, sure, it's a part of consciousness, but that's not all what consciousness is. What
are you asking me for?
I'm asking you for like the definition of what your definition of consciousness is.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be like a phenomenal. It would be like a
phenomenal. Conscious, the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, so like consciousness would be like experience of like what is it like, right? Like you and I have different experiences of what is it like. Like right now, like we're both on our phone, we're both looking at a screen, right? The consciousness would be like what is our experience of this screen right now, right? Like what is our experience of talking to each other? Like I can't look into your brain and find where you're seeing the screen right now, and you can't look into my brain and find where I'm seeing the screen right now, right? Like that's what consciousness would be. That's how most like philosophers would look at this. That it's what is it like to be you?
That's a very weird way to define
what is it like to be you? What is it like to be? No, you're not bugging. No, you're not bugging at all. It's very strange, right? But what is it like to be you? What is it like to be me? That's what experience is. It's like what is it like to feel something? What is it like to be something? That's what consciousness seems to be. And so whenever you're deploying this, we don't know where there's the hard problem of consciousness that we don't know if consciousness actually comes from the brain. There's not sufficient evidence to support whether or not consciousness actually comes from the brain. So the issue with your view is that we don't know.
Oh my god!
Is that how do you know that this is when sentience actually happens?
Oh my god! Holy shit!
How do we know that this is actually what sentience? How do we know that this is when sentience begins? Because consciousness because we could just be experiencing the universe. The universe could just be a whole bunch of experiences, right? The universe could just be a whole bunch of experiences. We don't know that consciousness actually begins in our brain. For all we know, it could just be the Bluetooth to the actual immaterial reality. So what I'm asking you is if you're basing it on sentience, if this is what your view is based off of, if you're saying that humans' morals are based off of this, how do you know that this starts at 20 to 24 weeks? How do you know that?
That is how the fucking procedures that they do to see whether or not a fetus is sentient.
They don't know whether or not sentience begins in the brain. They're just identifying neural markers within the brain. They're just identifying electrical currents that begin in the brain.
And
they're connecting it to things like the hypothalamus.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That doesn't prove that sentience begins there. My problem with your position is that sentience is that the mind could be present earlier within the fetus. It could be present from the moment of conception. You don't know that. So
we know that by looking into it and seeing.
By looking into it and seeing? By looking into it and seeing.
Yeah, that is the same way we look at sentience and figure out whether or not something is sentient.
This is absolutely incorrect. This is absolutely.
So we don't look into.
This is absolutely. We can.
Wait, so we don't look into the brain and see if whether or not somebody has consciousness.
We cannot look into the.
How do we know if somebody's unconscious?
No, we don't.
How do we know if somebody's unconscious?
That's my point. We don't know.
We don't know.
That is my point. Hold on. Search up. After this panel, I want you to search up what the hard problem of consciousness. This is what your This is the point. This is what your position is based off of. Your position is based off of consciousness, but yet you don't know what the hard problem of consciousness even is. That's my problem. You don't know what the hard problem of consciousness even is.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. I promise you I know what I'm talking about. I promise you I know what I'm talking about.
You really don't, though.
I really do. I've read so much mind body. I've read so much philosophy of mind. I promise you I know what I'm talking about. I've read so much phenomenology. I know what I'm talking about. Yes, Phil of mind. Yeah.
Philosophy is not the same as biology, baby.
It's biology? Is that what you just said? What is biology?
I said it's not the same as biology.
Yeah, I know that's what you said. I'm asking you what's the difference? I mean, what are you saying here? What's the point?
Philosophy is not the study of living organisms.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and that would be biology. So I just said they're not the same thing, genius. I don't
Yeah,
understand why
and
you
so
acted
why are
like
you
that was
invoking
something that needs to be
biology here if we're
elaborated
talking
on.
about the philosophy of mind? If we're talking about consciousness,
We're not talking about the
we are.
philosophy
We're
of
talking
mind.
about consciousness. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about. Consciousness.
consciousness would be from like a biological perspective because it happens in the brain. Am
Oh
I
really?
wrong?
Oh really?
Yeah.
The consciousness happens in the brain. What's the proof for that? How do you know that? How do you know that?
The neural connections that we
The
see in the
neural
brain.
connect. We don't know that that's what consciousness is. We don't
We
know that
do.
that's what consciousness is. No, we do
We do.
not. No, we do not.
From like a biological lens, that's what
From
we
a
know.
biological lens, sure, biology makes
Yeah.
like philosophical assumptions that I don't agree with.
Okay, you may not agree with it, but that's what biology says.
As in assuming that like an organism is the same over time, things like that. It makes assumptions. They're making assumptions because they're trying to do research on it. So right now, neuroscientists are assuming that it begins in the brain so that they can study the brain and try to find consciousness. They don't know if consciousness begins in the brain. That's the problem. And so my problem with your position, bringing this back to abortion, is that if your position is based off of consciousness and you don't know that consciousness is not present within the fetus before 20 to 24 weeks, then you could be killing a being that you view as morally valuable before 20 to 24 weeks. And so the pro-choice position would be false.
No,
That's my problem.
that's not true.
That's not true. That's your
That's not
response.
true. Because that's true because we already know whether or not something is sentient.
Because we
or not.
already know whether or not something is sentient.
Yeah.
We already know whether or not something is sentient. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Can you Google that? Do we know if something is sentient?
Yeah. It's the ability to perceive or feel things.
Yeah, that's what sentience is.
Yeah.
That's what sentience is, and we can know what sentient things are out there. Yeah, but do we know what sentience itself is and where it comes from? That's the
Yeah.
that's the question here. That is the question.
The brain.
The brain.
Yeah.
I've already addressed this like 3 times. We do not know that it comes from the brain.
We do though.
We do, really.
Yeah.
We do. Okay.
Yeah.
I've addressed this 3 times. I've addressed this 3 times now.
it
Okay.
meant
So
nothing.
genuinely, from a good faith perspective, I want you to search up philosophy of mind after, because your argument hinges on consciousness. I want you to search up philosophy of mind after this. I want you to search up phenomenology.
I don't have to search that up. At the end of
You
the
don't
day,
have
we already
to. Of
know.
course you don't have
we
to,
already
but
know.
you
We already
should.
know that. We already know. I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do, man.
Well, I'm
At the end
not
of the day-
telling you what
at the
to
end
do.
of the day-
I'm
at the end of the
advising
day-
you what
Stop
you should
talking to
do.
me. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we already know that sentience comes from the brain. Like different parts of the brain, like damage to certain parts of the brain does like cause like a change in personality. Like it erases memory, alters emotions. It removes consciousness. And eliminates awareness entirely. There's like so many things that.
Yeah.
Stop saying yeah while I'm fucking talking before I drop your black
I'm agreeing
ass.
with you.
Shut the fuck up while I'm talking. Like I said, yeah, during anesthesia, brain activity with like conscious awareness is disrupted and subjective like experiences disappear. This is all like biological things in the brain that points to sentience being something that starts in the brain, baby.
Okay, so everything that you just referenced could still be true under another perspective of consciousness, which is that it doesn't begin in the brain, right? We could still agree. Someone like I could be
But
I
if
could
we
be an
already have the
idealist.
evidence-
Wait, but I could be an idealist. I could think that everything in the universe is experiences and that it doesn't begin in the brain, and I could still think that the brain is the Bluetooth to those things. That is what provides me
Bluetooth
access to
device
those
is
things.
connected successfully.
That's what provides me access to those things. And under that definition, consciousness still wouldn't be present within the brain. The brain would just be the Bluetooth that gives us access to
You're
consciousness.
making a philosophical term that I don't give a shit about. At the end of the day,
You were the one who employed sentience and consciousness. You were the one who employed the term.
Sentience and consciousness are not philosophical terms. At the end of the day,
Wait, what?
they're
Well,
not.
okay, sure. You could be employing them in like a biological sense,
Because
but
that's
whenever
where the
you're
fuck
making
it
a
comes
moral
from.
argument,
That's
but
where
you're
the
making
fuck
a
it
moral
comes from.
argument about them. You're making a moral
Yeah,
argument about them, which is philosophical.
I'm basing my morality off of it. I'm not saying my morality defines it, dumbass. At the
I
end
didn't
of the
say it
fucking day,
defines it.
at
I'm
the-
saying you're
Yeah,
it's
you're
based
saying
off
no.
of it.
You quite literally did. You're
I
saying
did
I'm
not
making
say
a
that.
moral.
I
Shut the fuck up. You said
absolutely
I'm
did
making
not
a
say
moral
that.
argument off of it. I'm not making a moral argument off of it. I'm not using my morality to define these things. I'm not arguing this with my morality. I'm saying that I attach my morality to these things that already exist in biology. That's the distinction. The fuck are you talking about? And at the
That's
end of the day, a
absolutely not what you said.
philosophical. And I just said what the fuck I said. So if you don't like it, leave. But like I said, a
Okay.
philosophical claim cannot be proven with 100% like scientific certainty. So I would not hold to something that cannot be proven with 100% scientific certainty. With biology, that is something that is under the umbrella of like scientific research. And if we already have like scientific things that are proven through biology, then at the end of the day, this is not something that I feel that I should value of yours if I already have evidence empirically that is objective of mine.
Sure.
You
And
have
I'm
yet
just
to
waiting on
give
the.
me
I'm just waiting on the
give me a
evidence.
source. You have yet to give me a source.
A source for what? What's the source?
A
What do I need to
source
prove?
that your philosophical belief is proven.
What's my philosophical belief?
You already know what your philosophical belief
What is
is.
it?
You already
Wait,
said it.
I want you to
already
tell me what
said
it is. I want you to tell me what it is. Did
That
I
we don't
employ a
know. That
philosophical
we
belief?
don't know. That we don't know if sentience starts in the brain or not.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Was that not your philosophical? Why are you trying? Why are you fucking trying to make it seem like you don't know what I'm talking about? You already know what your philosophical point was because you're the reason why I even mentioned the word philosophical because that's what you brought up.
Yeah, so under the term, we don't know what consciousness is. Yeah, that was the point. That
We
is
know
my
what
philosophical
consciousness
belief.
is.
No,
We know
we
what
don't know.
consciousness is.
We do
Then
not
how
know
do we?
what
Then why when
consciousness
I search?
is.
Then
That
why
is
when
the
we search up
problem.
what is consciousness, it gives a description of what consciousness
Because
is.
biology makes assumptions about it to help them
It's
perform
not. It's
their
not about.
experiments. Because
It's not about
neuroscientists
making assumptions.
they have to make inductions about it to perform their so do physicians. Like many people have to make this is the scientific method. They have to make assumptions and go off of those assumptions to reach a conclusion. So they're making assumptions because neuroscientists think it begins in the brain, right? So they're going off of assumptions like that to study the brain and to reach a conclusion about consciousness. That doesn't mean that they know what it is. That doesn't mean that they know that it comes from the brain. And that's the issue. And that's the entire issue with your position, is that we don't know that it starts in the brain, so that we don't know that 20 to 24 weeks is when the fetus becomes suddenly morally valuable. That's the point.
At the end of the day, I feel that abortions should happen between 20 to 35 weeks. Because
Okay.
usually, typically, from like a scientific standpoint, that is where we see sentience begin.
Okay. Okay.
And I still said what I said.
Okay, you can stand by what you said. That's completely fine. That is completely fine.
And nothing
I
has
said what I
changed.
said. This whole thing has been recorded.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's been recorded on your side as well. This was
Yeah.
fun debates.
I
We can
know.
let the comments hash it out about who won that.
I will do a poll on my server, honey.
The poll can say 99 to 1, and I'll still know that I whooped the shit out you.
That's
But
not
have
true,
a good day.
honey. That's
Have a
not
good day,
true,
love.
baby. That's not
Have a
true,
good
baby
day.
girl.
Bye.
Okay, find a rope. Feel free to get in the guest.
Bye.
That's not true.
Have a good
honey.
day.
That's not
Have a
true,
good day,
baby.
love.
In the guest class, if you disagree with anything about y'all, we're just looking for debaters. We're just looking for debaters. How old are you?
Hi,
How old are you?
I'm 19 and I'm gay.
I don't give a shit. What year were you born?
No,
What year were you born?
my parents are siblings.
Nobody gives a shit about your existence. Feel free to get in the guest class if you disagree with anything above. How old are you?
Hello, I'm 19 years old. How are you?
What do you disagree with?
Oh, dude.
The only thing I disagree with, well, it's not necessarily
Thank you so much for the hand
disagreement,
heart, Damien. I love you so much.
but you said abortion should be legal, right?
Yeah, I said what I said.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So when you say legal, do you mean like fully a woman should be fully be able to just kill the fetus and move on with their life if they're not
Please.
comfortable with giving
Please say that this
birth?
shit was recorded.
All right. So I agree to an extent. When I mean extent, I don't know if it's a possibility, but I think it should be conditionally legal. What I mean by conditionally
Under what
legal,
circumstances?
I'm not hearing you.
Under what circumstances?
All right, that's what I'm going to get into, right? So I agree with your sense in being legal because, you have women out there who were, raped and they don't want to have a child,
Please say
correct?
grape.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right, thank you. I'll say that then. But when I say conditional legal, you have other means where a woman, like, just putting aside the, negative aspect of getting impregnated, but let's say, put an example where a woman and a male, they have sexual intercourse and, of course, the women get impregnated. Instead of
Okay, I think that's it.
getting rid of that child, there are other methods that they can use.
Okay, I think that's kind of it. Holy fucking shit. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, look at this. Oh my god, dude. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, so I feel like I did pretty good. I feel like I did pretty good on that debate. Oh no.
Girl's telling you how to pronounce her name. She's taking the Eucharist. And
How the fuck are the
Clara,
juicy ass
724, babe. 724.
Okay, that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna get off for the night. I think I'm done. Oh shit. Wait a minute, she's never mind. Yeah, please say that was recorded. Please. Oh, thank God that was recorded. Okay, that was a good debate. That was fun. I feel like I did really good. Dude, that was so much fun. Okay, I'm done. Signing off for the night, finally.